Oh, man. Mary, sorry, I was interrupted. Mary, I was wondering, will me being like nice and having a nice open heart, will that and having an unharmed heart, will that make it easier for me to not be blocked by people like Mozart in the fifth dimension? P O S S I. That was a C L Y. So you meant that to be a B. Did you just write possibly? Mary, is it mathematicians or is it like magicians, like spiritual magic? Which one of those two is it? The mathematicians or the spiritual magicians that are in 3D and close to learning the mathematics of reality? Did you just write mage? Wow. Mary, does the algebraic of mathematics, does that have to do with like sine waves and zero?
You have Wawa. Who's that at?
I'm trying to record my session. Mary, have you ever been a Kabbalist in any of your lives? No. Do you know any Kabbalists in the fifth dimension? No. Mary, do you know anything about Kabbalah? No. Mary, in what way was life different from your first incarnation and then compared to your last incarnation? In what way was life different? I C A N T S A Y. Mary, is it because of leaders that you can't say? Mary, are there accurate history books in the fifth dimension? Like history of like life on Earth that are like really accurate? Yes. Have you ever read any of those books, Mary? Yes. Wow. Mary, is there more to my life path than just living humbly? Y O U N U S T C H O O S E. So you mean like it's my choice? Is that what you mean? Like it's my choice? Yes. Mary, in any of my past incarnations, did I ever have a job that I like held, like a career, in my past lives? Yes. Mary, what was my career? I CANTAY. Okay. Mary, how many lives has Leslie had? Five. Is this her sixth life? Yes. Mary, will meditating a lot help me not be confused when I go to the fourth dimension? If I meditate a lot, will that help me not be confused? Yes and no. Mary, why did you say yes and no? Can you elaborate? I T C A N M A K E T H E C O N F U S I O N E A S I E R T O B A R E. Wow. You said it can make the confusion easier to bear. so I would be able to rest in the confusion. Yes. But not necessarily. It's not like definitely if I meditate, it's like it can do that, but it doesn't necessarily do that. Is that true? Yes. Mary, can meditating benefit me if I meditate here in the third dimension a lot? Can that give me make the core journey? Does that have any effect on the core journey of the fourth dimension? No. Mary, were you listening to me when I was trying to contact Jesus? Yes. Mary, do you think that he heard me call out to him? I D O N T K N O W. Right now, I'm going to try and channel to see if there's any spirit other than you that's here, or that will talk to me on the Ouija board. I'm calling out. Is there any other spirit other than Mary that's benevolent that will talk to me on the Ouija board? Is there any spirit other than Mary that'll talk to me on the Ouija board that's benevolent? Okay. Mary, I'm back to you now. That didn't work. Can you turn yourself in the fifth dimension? Can you turn yourself into a bird and fly around if you wanted to, Mary? No. Wow, I thought that the answer to that would have been yes. So I guess this next question, could you turn yourself into a giant hand if you wanted to? I said, like, I want to be a giant hand. No. So pretty much, it's like you can either be like a human form or like a spherical ball of energy. Is that true? That's pretty much your only options. Yes. Well, I guess you wouldn't know anything about Sephiroths. Mary, have you ever heard of the term Sephiroth or Sephiroth? No. Mary. Mary, are there a lot of nymphs here in 3D at this time in history, in the modern era, and in what's going on now? Is there a lot of nymphs in 3D? No. So it's true that most of the nymphs are in the fourth dimension right now. Is that true? Yes. Mary, have you ever talked to a nymph? Mary, are nymphs smarter than fairies? Yes. No. You wrote yes and no. Let me guess. Are you trying to say that they're about the same in intelligence? You wrote yes. Mary, is it easier for you to see the in-between area of 3D, the in-between 3D and 4D area, or is it easier for you to see like the physical solid world that I'm in? Which is easier for you to see? I N B E T W E E N. Mary, from your perspective, I'm opaque. Is that true? From your perspective, you're solid and I'm opaque. Is that true? Yes. Mary, do you get rewards from leaders for being a good spirit guide? When you're a good spirit guide, do you get rewards from leaders? Mary, what kind of rewards do leaders give you? P R A I S E. Mary, have you ever gotten praise? You wrote praise. Have you ever gotten praise from something you did guiding me? No. Mary, I wanted to understand more about like we were using Namkai Norbu's when we were talking about this. We were using Namkai Norbu's ability to share threads, and we were talking about that. And I wanted to ask the question like this: does Namkai Norbu Rinpoche have an ability to share threads that I don't have? Does he have an ability in sharing his threads that I don't have? Yes. Mary, can I get that ability better by meditating? No. Mary, after the core journey, will I have that ability? No. Wow. So, will I ever have that ability, like in the fifth dimension? I C A N T B E S T U R. Is that an E? I can't be. You wrote that wasn't a T. That was an S. I can't. There was no S. It's I can't be sure. Mary, did you just say I can't be sure? Mary, do you have the same ability that Namkai Norbu has to share threads? Mary, does it have to do with not being selfish? Does that have something to do with why you and he have that ability? I N P A R T. Okay. Mary, is how many threads does Namkai Norbu give to me now? 5, 2, 3. And how many threads do I give to Namkai Norbu? 3, 2, or 311. Did you write 311 there? Yes. Mary, is Namkai Norbu aware that he shares those threads with me, or is it subconscious? B O T H. That's interesting. Mary, is it possible to add more? I know there's two different types of bonds. You said that there's worldly bonds, and then there's like sort of like I'll call them like mundane bonds. Or no, there's worldly bonds, and then sorry, Mary, there's worldly bonds, and those are the mundane ones, and that's the kind that me and I'm growing with Leslie, and the kind we just talked about with Namkai Norbu. And then there's also bonds that were created in the realm before ever incarnating. And I was wondering, is it possible to even now in my incarnation, to put on and make bonds that are the same as the ones that can't be broken? Yes. Mary, have I made those with Leslie in this lifetime? Y O U H R E O N P A T H T O D O S O. I'm on path to do so. Mary, can I put those bonds on also while I'm in the fourth dimension? Can I put on those? Can I make those bonds connections? P E R H A R. That was you wrote. Did you just write perhaps? Mary, are all soulmates romantically involved in the fifth dimension? Yes. Mary, is it possible to make those really important bonds that can't be broken? Is it possible to make those in the fifth dimension?
support to our law enforcement. It's all about giving them additional support. We have to condemn the dangerous anti-police rhetoric. It's getting more and more. It's very unfair. This is in sharp contrast to those who want to slash police funding, oppose using the
No.
National Guard, and want to hire radical judges and prosecutors.
Mary, why is it not possible to put those bonds and make those types of bonds in the fifth dimension?
But by and large, this is not peaceful protest.
I C A N T S A Y. You wrote, I can't say. Is there a tangible reason that you know you just can't say? Yes. Mary, is there debate in the fifth dimension? Do people express their opinions to one another, and their opinions are different, and then they debate them? Does that ever go on in the fifth dimension?
Yeah. Well, first off, the thing about Joe is he actually thinks he's Judge Judy, and the basement is his courtroom.
R A R L E Y. Rarely.
The Democrats, unfortunately, have painted themselves into a corner. They couldn't be seen accepting help from Trump because then they would align themselves with the president. So instead, what they did
Mary,
was align themselves.
do you know what chi energy is? Chi energy. Do you know what that is?
Are they willing to let their cities collapse before they actually put their ego aside and say, yes, we don't want our
Mary, can I build my chi energy through meditation and qi gong here in the third dimension?
So yes, they are coming to your house. What I do like a lot is watching the media get the
Yes.
message to do lots of
Mary, can I send chi energy to people and it have a healing effect on them?
scream and say, see, it's not so bad, as if showing that makes you forget that the charitable lodge is picking through
M
right now, trying to find rare
I
artifacts that were destroyed in the looting in Kenosha. That there
K
are buildings whose homes were
D
or buildings that were burned and looted. But
L
a picture of like
Y.
rollerblading through a park.
Mary, could you spell that? Oh, you wrote likely. Did you just write likely? No. Mary, what did you just write? I missed it. M I L D L Y. You wrote mildly. Mary, do I have good chi flow in me? I T I S A D E O U B T E. It is. Okay, I got it is. What was the word you wrote after is? A D E O U A T E. Did you write A D E O U A T E? No. Mary, I didn't get that word. It is. Could you spell it out again? A D D E O. Oh, Q. That was a Q all the time. Adequate. Mary, did you write adequate before? T. E. Mary, did you write adequate? I have adequate chief flow. Mary, I'm going to go now, and thank you so much for talking to me. Do you have a message for me before we stop talking? Oh. Okay, Mary, I'm going to say goodbye now. Goodbye.